What if I told you that your entire life isn't about forcing circumstances to change, but simply tuning into a new frequency? That every struggle you're facing right now, every stuck situation, every pattern that keeps repeating, is just you listening to the wrong radio station. Just like music, your thoughts and emotions carry a vibration. The station you tune into is the reality you experience. And here's what's wild. Most people spend their entire lives fighting static instead of simply changing the channel. Think about this for a moment. When was the last time you tried to fix a problem by pushing harder, stressing more, or forcing an outcome? How did that work out for you? Probably felt like trying to squeeze water from a rock, right? What if I told you there's a completely different way? A way that feels effortless, natural, like flowing downstream instead of swimming against the current. In the next 20 minutes, we're going to explore how to stop fighting static and start living tuned in. By the end, you'll know exactly how to shift your state of being, raise your frequency, and align with the life you actually want. But first, let me ask you something. Have you ever noticed how some people seem to have everything flow to them naturally? Money, relationships, opportunities. It's like they're magnets for good things. Meanwhile, others work twice as hard and struggle for every inch of progress. What's the difference? It's not luck, it's not privilege, it's not even hard work, it's frequency. Let's start with something simple that you already understand intuitively. Imagine you driving in your car and you want to listen to jazz music. You tune your radio to 105.5 FM and beautiful saxophone melodies fill the air. Now, what happens if you want rock music instead? Do you yell at the radio? Do you shake it? Do you demand that jazz stations start playing rock? Of course not. You simply turn the dial to a different frequency. Your thoughts and emotions work exactly the same way. Anger, worry, fear, and stress carry a completely different vibrational frequency than joy, gratitude, love, and peace. This isn't just spiritual fluff. This is measurable science. The HeartMath Institute has conducted over 30 years of research showing that our emotions create distinct, measurable electromagnetic frequencies in the heart. When you feel frustration, your heart rhythm looks chaotic and incoherent. But when you shift to appreciation or love, your heart creates a smooth, coherent wave pattern that actually influences your brain function, your immune system, and even affects the people around you. Dr. Joe Dispenza takes this further. His research shows that when your brain and heart achieve coherence, when they're literally vibrating in harmony, your entire body becomes like tuning for a new possibility. You're no longer just thinking about change, you're literally embodying it at a cellular level. And from a quantum physics perspective, everything in the universe is vibration. Einstein showed us this over a century ago. Every atom in your body is in constant motion, creating frequencies. Your thoughts are electric impulses, literally measurable brain waves. When you change your thoughts and emotions, you change in your vibrational frequency and therefore changing what you're attracting and resonating with. The spiritual teachers have known this forever. Bashar calls it state of being. Neville Goddard calls it your feeling of being. They're all pointing to the same fundamental truth. You don't get what you want, you get what you are. And what you are is determined by the frequency you're broadcasting moment to moment. Here's the beautiful part. Just like with the radio in your car, you have complete control over what frequency you tune into. You're not a victim of your circumstances. You're not stuck with whatever thoughts happen to pop into your head. You are the conscious observer, and you can choose to adjust your dial at any moment. Now, here's where this gets revolutionary. Circumstances don't actually matter. I know that might sound crazy when you're looking at your bank account or dealing with a difficult relationship or facing a health challenge, but stay with me here. Circumstances are just old broadcasts. They are the echo of whatever frequency you were tuned into in the past. Think about it. You can't fix static by yelling at the radio. You can't make the jazz station play rock music by complaining about it. You can only change the channel. Let me give you some real examples of how this works in daily life. Sarah works in marketing and has been stressed about money for months. Every morning, she wakes up and immediately checks her bank balance. She feels that pit in her stomach. She thinks about her bills, her rent, how she's barely making ends meet. She is literally tuning into the frequency of lack from the moment she opens her eyes. But here's what she doesn't realize. When you're vibrating at the frequency of lack, you can only perceive and attract more lack. She might walk right past the $20 bill on the sidewalk and not see it. A friend might mention a freelance opportunity, but she's so focused on what's wrong that she misses it entirely. Her boss might be considering her for promotion, but because she's emanating stress and scarcity, she's unconsciously repelling the very abundance she's trying to create. Now, imagine Sarah makes a different choice. Instead of checking her bank balance first thing in the morning, she takes 5 minutes to think about everything she's grateful for. The roof over her head, the skills she has, the opportunities that exist all around her. She shifts her frequency from lack to that of appreciation. From that stage, she notices things differently. She sees opportunities. She has creative ideas. She shows up to work with confidence instead of desperation. And suddenly, things start shifting in her external world. Or take relationships, for example. Mark has been single for 2 years and he's frustrated. He goes on dating apps with the energy of, why doesn't anyone want me? He approaches conversation from a place of neediness and insecurity. He is broadcasting the frequency of loneliness and desperation. And guess what? Frequency responds to that? More loneliness and desperation. But when Mark shifts to genuinely loving and appreciating himself first, when he tunes into that frequency of wholeness and joy, he becomes magnetic. People are naturally drawn to someone who's radiating contentment and confidence. He stops looking for someone to complete him and starts looking for someone to share his already full life with. That's a completely different frequency, and it attracts completely different results. The key insight here is that you can't solve a vibrational problem with action alone. You can't hustle your way out of scarcity frequency. You can't force your way into love from a frequency of fear. You have to shift the frequency first. Then the circumstances will adjust to match your new state of being. This is why some people can lose everything and bounce back stronger than ever, while others can have every advantage and still struggle. It's not about the circumstances, it's about the frequency they're holding in response to those circumstances. So, how does this actually look like in your day-to-day life? Let's get practical, because this isn't just theory, this is how you live differently starting today. Your morning routine is literally the first frequency setting of your entire day. Most people wake up and immediately grab their phone. Within 30 seconds, they're scrolling through news, emails, social media. They're letting external chaos determine their internal state. They're tuning into whatever frequency the world wants to broadcast to them. But what if you took those first few minutes to consciously choose your frequency? Maybe you put on music that lifts your spirit. Maybe you take 5 deep breaths and set an intention for the day. Maybe you write down 3 things you're grateful for. These aren't just nice habits, they're frequency adjustments that will influence everything that happens next. Let me tell you about Jennifer, a teacher who transformed her entire work experience by making one small change. She used to drive to work listening to radio, getting wound up about politics and negative news. She would arrive at school already agitated, and it affected how she interacted with her students all day. The kids picked up on her stress and became more difficult to manage, which made her more stressed, creating a downward spiral. Then she decided to use her commute as frequency time. Instead of talk radio, she listened to uplifting music or inspiring podcasts. By the time she walked into a classroom, she was in a completely different state. The students responded to her calm, positive energy. Behavior problems decreased, learning improved. Her principal noticed and gave her additional responsibilities that came with a raise. Same job, same school, same kids, completely different reality because she changed her frequency. Now let's talk about disappointment, because this is where most people get stuck. Life won't always meet your expectations. Sometimes you interview for your dream job and don't get it. Sometimes the person you're interested in doesn't return your feelings. Sometimes your business idea doesn't take off the way you hoped. Most of us get stuck in the frequency of disappointment. We tune into the why me station. Why me? We replay the rejection, analyze what went wrong, and broadcast that energy of defeat and resentment. But here's the shift that changes everything. You can allow yourself to feel the disappointment fully, because emotions need to be felt, not suppressed, and then consciously choose to tune into a different frequency. Let me give you a real example. Tom had been working towards a promotion for over a year. He put in extra hours, take on additional projects, really invested himself. When they gave the position to someone else, he was devastated. The old Tom would have stayed stuck in resentment for months, poisoning his relationships at work and blocking new opportunities. But Tom had learned about frequencies. He let himself feel the disappointment for a day. He was angry, he was hurt, and that was okay. But then he made a conscious choice. He asked himself, what frequency do I want to hold instead? He decided to tune into trust and possibility. Maybe this rejection was redirection. Maybe something better was coming. Maybe this was the universe's way of pushing him towards something more aligned. From that frequency of trust and openness, Tom started noticing other opportunities. A former colleague reached out about a position at another company that paid more and offered better growth potential. Within 6 weeks, Tom had a job that was far better than the promotion he'd originally wanted. The disappointment that felt like the end of the world was actually the catalyst for something amazing, but only because he chose to change his frequency instead of staying stuck in resentment. This is frequency in action, not controlling life, but tuning your responses so life can realign with you. Now, some of you might be thinking, this sounds great, but is there actual science behind this, or is it just wishful thinking? Let me share some research that will blow your mind. Dr. Joe Dispenza's work at the University of California has shown that when people practice heart-brain coherence meditation for just 8 weeks, they can literally change their gene expression. The genes associated with stress, inflammation, and diseases become less active, while genes associated with healing, immunity, and vitality becomes more active. They're literally changing their biology by changing their frequency. The Heart Math Institute has measured the electromagnetic field of the heart and found it's 5,000 times stronger than the brain's electromagnetic field. When you're in a coherent emotional state, feeling appreciation, compassion, or love, your heart creates a smooth, sine wave-like rhythm that can be measured up to 8 feet away from your body. You are literally broadcasting your emotional frequency into the space around you. Quantum physics shows us that at the subatomic level, everything is energy and vibration. What we perceive as solid matter is actually 99.9% empty space with particles vibrating at specific frequencies. When you change your vibrational frequency through your thoughts and emotions, you are changing how you interact with the quantum field of possibilities around you. This isn't mystical, it's measurable. Dr. William Tyler at Stanford University conducted experiments showing that human consciousness can actually influence the pH of water and the growth rate of plants from a distance. Our focused intention, our emotional frequency has a direct impact on physical reality. And here's something that really bridges science and spirituality. Mirror neurons. These are brain cells that fire both when we perform an action and when we observe someone else performing the same action. This is why you can feel someone's energy when they walk into a room. You are literally syncing up with that frequency on a neurological level. This explains why high-frequency people tend to lift others up, while low-frequency people can drain your energy. It's not just psychology, it's biology. You're constantly broadcasting your frequency and picking up the frequency of others. Okay, so how do you actually apply this in real life? Here's a simple framework that you can use anytime, anywhere. Step 1. Awareness. Notice what station you're on. Ask yourself, how do I feel right now? Don't judge it. Don't try to change it yet. Just observe. Are you anxious, excited, frustrated, grateful? Just notice. Step 2. Shift. Decide on a new frequency, maybe from worry to calm, fear to confidence, resentment to acceptance. You don't have to make a huge jump. If you're at anger, you don't have to jump straight to joy. Maybe just shift from anger to irritation, then from irritation to acceptance. Step 3. Hold. This is crucial. Stay with that new feeling long enough for it to settle into your nervous system. Take at least 30 seconds to really embody the new frequency. Breathe it in, feel it in your body. Step 4. Embody. Act as if you're already operating from that frequency. Move differently, speak differently, make decisions from that new state of being. For example, you are about to go into a difficult conversation with your boss. You notice you are tuned into anxiety and defensiveness. You take a moment and shift into confidence and openness. You hold that feeling, letting your body relax and your breathing deepen. Then you walk into that room, embodying calm authority. That one frequency shift can change the entire outcome of the conversation. Here's what I want you to understand. The universe is always broadcasting. Every frequency you could ever want to experience already exists. Love, abundance, health, joy, peace, excitement. They're all available right now. Circumstances are just echoes of whatever frequency you were tuned into in the past. But when you shift your frequency consciously and consistently, your entire reality begins to change. Not overnight, but inevitably. You'll start noticing different opportunities. Different people will be drawn to you. Different possibilities will open up. The same external world will look completely different because you're perceiving it from a different frequency. Don't fight your circumstances. They're just old broadcasts. Instead, tune differently. Choose your frequency consciously. Make it a practice, not just a one-time thing. Remember, you're not trying to manipulate or force anything. You're simply choosing to align with the frequency of what you want to experience. And from that alignment, the right action becomes effortless. The right people appear. The right opportunities manifest. Life starts to flow. So here's my challenge for you. For the next 7 days, practice conscious frequency tuning. Every morning, choose your frequency before you choose anything else. Throughout the day, notice when you've slipped into a lower frequency and gently tune back to where you want to be. What station will you choose today? Drop it in the comments. What frequency are you tuning into right now? And if this video resonated with you, hit that subscribe button because we're going to dive deeper into these concepts. Together, we'll keep tuning higher and higher, one frequency at a time.